Hello, welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, we'll be considering risk management in cybersecurity. So we are going to be focusing on decision making in cybersecurity. What is risk management? Risk management is about choosing where to focus because not every problem can be solved at once. This is going to be an interesting lesson, so let's get right into it. What is the importance of risk management? It is important because security is always constrained by resources. This means that sometimes we don't have all the resources we need or all the resources we want. And this means that not all risk can be eliminated because of the shortage of resources. Time, budget, and personnel may be limited. And because of this, decisions must be prioritized carefully. So we fall back on risk management because it is the one that will help us guide smart security investments. What is risk? Risk combines multiple elements. Risk exists when a threat can exploit a vulnerability and cause impact. It represents potential damage, it measures exposure to harm, and without impact, there is no meaningful risk. What are the components of risk? The first one is assets, and this is something valuable that must be protected. The second one is threat, and this is a potential source of harm. The third one is vulnerability, which is a weakness that can be exploited. And the last one is impact, which is the damage that could be the result of threat or vulnerability. Next, we'll consider risk management. So what is risk management? Risk management is a structured process. It defines risks, it evaluates likelihood and impact, it prioritizes based on exposure, and it defines how risks will be handled. Next, we'll consider risk identification. This is the first step in risk management, and it is about awareness. So for risk management, what we do there is that we identify critical assets, we identify possible threats, we identify system vulnerabilities, and we document all these findings clearly. The next stage of risk management is risk assessment. And here we are having it at the back of our mind, or we are putting it in mind that not all risks are equal. Hence, we need to prioritize some. So here what we are doing is that we are evaluating how likely an event is. We are evaluating the potential impact, we are assigning a risk level to each of the risks, and we are prioritizing the highest risk issues first. Let's now consider risk treatment options. There are four main responses, that is, four ways to which we can treat risk. The first one is risk mitigation. The second one is risk transfer. The third one is risk avoidance. And the last one is risk acceptance. Let's start with risk mitigation. This reduces exposure directly. It helps us to implement security controls. It helps us to reduce the likelihood of exploitation. It helps us to reduce the potential impact, and patching vulnerabilities is a common example for risk mitigation. The next one is risk transfer. Risk transfer helps us to shift responsibility. That is, we are transferring risks to another party, and this could be a cyber insurance company. And for that, we rely on contractual agreements, and this will be a shared responsibility. That is, we are having some responsibilities, and the insurance company is having some responsibilities to take care of too. Next, to consider the risk avoidance and acceptance. Avoidance eliminates the risky activity entirely, while acceptance acknowledges a manageable risk. Acceptance requires leadership approval, and whichever decisions we are going for must be documented. Next, we'll consider the qualitative and quantitative risk. Risk can be measured differently. So we have two ways, that is the qualitative way and then the quantitative way. For qualitative uses categories like low, medium, or high. Quantitative uses numerical and financial estimates. That is, if this happens, this is the amount of money that we might lose. This is the loss that might happen. This is the total amount that we might spend on recovering. So quantitative is just about numerical and financial estimates. And both approaches provide value. And lastly, the choice depends on organizational maturity. Next, we'll consider risk management and the CIA triad. Risk thinking strengthens protection. That is, confidentiality is protected by reducing exposure, integrity is protected by managing weaknesses, availability is protected by planning for disruptions, and risk management supports all the three principles. Next, let's consider the common risk management mistakes. The first one is ignoring low probability but high impact risks. That is, you are thinking that the probability that this would happen is very low, but if it happens, the risk is very high. If you are ignoring such a risk, then you are making a very big mistake. The next one is focusing on technical threats. There are other threats. We have operational threats, we have physical threats, we have several other threats. So don't just focus on technical threats alone. The next one is failing to document decisions. Document every decisions because there might be a reason for you to refer back to the decisions you've made, and if it is not properly documented, you may not know the next best steps to take. Lastly, we have lack of leadership involvement. Leadership should be involved in every steps of the way when we are managing risk. What have we learned so far in this lesson? We've learned that risk is unavoidable. We've seen that it cannot be fully eliminated, it must be managed intelligently, and prioritization is essential. Lastly, leadership decisions can help drive good outcomes. Let's take a test together. Here is the question. Which risk treatment option involves accepting a known risk without implementing new controls? Here are the options. So pause the video, read through the options, pick your answer and drop in the comments, then come back to play the video. So what's the answer? The correct answer is D, which is acceptance. That's all for this lesson. If you're here to subscribe to our channel, please do that now. Also, do not forget to like, share, and comment. Thank you so much and see you in the next lesson.